I have been a Solidcore baddie for 2 years now, and unfortunately, I have accepted that it is time for me to break up with the blue lights. I believe that Solidcore is a very challenging, unique, and intense workout, but I also believe that it is for a special kind of person and also someone who is looking to reach certain goals. Now, I do want to start off with the pros. I, of course, identified and understood the importance of truly training your core and all of the benefits that come from that. Prior to doing Solidcore, I did Club Pilates, and this was definitely a step up when it came to strengthening my core in a way that I was actually feeling the results. I will also say that Solidcore very quickly revealed to me the areas of my body where I do have opportunity to strengthen, specifically them inner thighs and my triceps. I was like, what's that thing called again? The triceps. Now I also was reminded of the muscle groups where I was super strong, which was of course, honestly, like the rest of my legs. So outer thighs, glutes, biceps, shoulders, all that jazz. And because you're doing such concentrated movements for a longer duration of time in the way that they teach Solidcore, you learn real quick. Like Solidcore will absolutely humble you. I didn't find community with other people that I was doing the classes with necessarily, but I definitely did enjoy several of the instructors here at our studio, to the point where like we're kikiing all the time on Instagram, and I looked forward to going to their classes. I was really enjoying their playlist and was even following them on Spotify to have access to their playlist whenever I wanted. So I will say those were the pros, like really getting a stronger core, understanding my muscle groups where I was strong, as well as my muscle groups where I had opportunity for improvement, and then gaining some friends through the coaches that I was obviously like going to repeatedly. Now for context, I was going often, like usually at least 4 times a week. I had the unlimited committed package, so it was essentially 12 months, and then I could go as many times as I wanted. So that was something that I got because originally I did the 8 classes a month package, and I felt like I wasn't getting enough. They no longer have the 12 class package, but I do think that that would have been the sweet spot for me. And I say that because now I want to get into why I am breaking up with Solidcore. The first thing is that this is a pretty expensive type of group fitness. And it is one where in order to fully get the most out of it, you really do need at least at more than 2 days a week. But it also cannot be the workout that you're solely relying on when it comes to, strength training and HIIT, if you will. A lot of people do say it's a HIIT exercise. The reality is that you do need to be going to Solidcore at least 2 times a week. And when I was looking at like my Apple Watch or my Oura Ring or my Ultra Human, literally have had all 3. I was barely burning 300 calories in this 50-minute class. And that then showed me that like there were other ways that I was going to have to work out on top of my Solidcore class. And I took things to the extreme in some seasons where I did 75 hard. So I was doing Solidcore in the morning and then Peloton at night, or going on a run or a walk at night. And it felt as though I was having to spend way more time in order to get myself in the caloric deficit that I was trying to maintain, versus just doing something like a Peloton workout, or doing something like the Peloton boot camps, for example, are phenomenal because you get both the cardio and the strength training. I also identified that this couldn't be like my solo and like only way of doing strength training. Yes, especially when you put on the blue and gray springs, like you are in the black spring, like you are lifting heavier. But for me and for the way that I had been training prior to going to Solidcore, I just was not seeing the transformation that a lot of other girls who I, had reached out to, who had done Solidcore, mentioned that they saw for themselves. Now, another thing on that note is that prior to doing Solidcore, I did Peloton for most of my early 2000s. It's crazy to say that, but during the pandemic, that was my mode of workouts where sometimes I was just doing bike, some days I was just doing strength training, but where I found the sweet spot was doing boot camps. And the reason that I started to explore studios and group fitness was because I wanted to find community. I've identified that there was nothing wrong with the Peloton classes. If anything, that's where I felt the strongest and appreciated and enjoyed my physique the most. I just wish that there was like a Peloton studio where I live. That would be so lit. But nonetheless, that's a big thing for me, was that I had to stack more workouts on top of Solidcore in order to not only maintain my current weight and physique, but especially when I was in seasons of getting into caloric deficit, I always had to keep adding more and more, and like that time adds up. So that was the first reason that I'm chucking up the deuces. The second reason that I've kind of alluded to throughout this video is that I didn't actually feel like a deep sense of community. I was able to make like one-off friends here and there, but you're literally mute the entire class because it's dark. The music is playing, the instructor is talking, so you're not connecting with anyone like you would in more of like a boot camp setting where, you know, there may be a bit more interaction. And then in that in-between time for that 10 minutes between when the last class ends and the first one starts, you're trying to wipe down your machine, maybe get your picture in, get out of the class so that the next class can get in. And it's just, there's no like community activities. There's nothing to really allow you to gain that sense of community. So that was the second reason. The third reason was honestly just price. Like I think mine was like $225 a month for unlimited. And on top of that, I'm also paying $50 a month for Solidcore. I think it's like $53 now. But the math just isn't mathing for me to continue on, especially with the increase in pricing that we're seeing. So I do think that Solidcore, I want to get into who I think it's good for. I think it's good for someone who may have lost the fat that you're looking to lose, and you're now just looking to essentially tone your muscles, and maybe you also have time or money to have a personal trainer where you're doing strength training on the side. I've identified that for me, even though I felt the strength coming through my core, I wasn't actually seeing it because I had like this layer, of course, transparently, of fat that was over my abs. And so in the arms, I was definitely seeing it a bit more. In my legs, not really. My legs are pretty lean except for like my inner thighs. I could do some work there. But all of this to say that I think that like once you've hit a goal of like, okay, now I just need to tone, I think that you're a better candidate for Solidcore than if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to burn fat and expecting that you're just gonna see your abs pop because you've hit your 100th class or your 200th class. So this is all from my personal experience. I know that I need cardio. I know that I need to actually move my body. And unfortunately, sitting on the reformer or laying on the reformer for 50 minutes was not gonna cut it. So I did Club Pilates, as I shared. I did that for like 6 months prior, and I was like, I feel like I could take a nap during a lot of these classes. I did enjoy the intensity increase and the vibes, like just like the high energy, many of the instructors I got to experience, I loved them dearly. But I think that what I was looking for with respect to community, with respect to weight loss, and then also, what was the other thing? Community, weight loss, and I'm blanking on the third. Maybe like toning, like I wasn't actually seeing that, especially in the places in my body that I was looking to tone. So hope this was helpful for anyone who is considering, whether you're on the side where like you do just need to tone and you have lost the fat and you have lost the weight that you were looking to lose, but also for someone who's in a similar position where maybe you've tried Club Pilates and you think that Solidcore will be the fix with respect to getting the intense, high intensity interval training that you need. I used to do Orange Theory before. Did I find community in that? No, not that either. So maybe I just need like more of like a private gym where they do have more community events and there's a bit more of like teamwork involved in the workout itself. So I have heard that Empire is really good here in Raleigh. I did download ClassPass again because I need to start dating around for different gyms in the area. F45 I've heard is good too. So I'm gonna be testing them out and seeing what may work for me, but we're only 31, so we got time to figure out like what the signature gym is for this season. But unfortunately, the Solidcore days have come to an end. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.